Most overpriced cars with the worst deals right now. Before you even think about buying a car right now, you need to watch this. Prices are through the roof. Dealers are adding insane markups, and some of the worst deals in years are happening as we speak. What looks like a great ride on the surface could actually be draining your wallet faster than you realize. From luxury brands charging thousands more than they're worth, to everyday cars with sky-high payments that just don't make sense. The market is filled with overpriced disasters. And trust me, some of the names on this list will shock you. We're talking about cars that are losing value faster than you can say, bad investment. Ones with hidden costs dealerships won't tell you about, and models that are just plain not worth the price tag. And wait until you see number one on this list. It might just be the biggest ripoff of them all. So before you sign that contract and lock yourself into a deal you'll regret, stick around, because I'm about to reveal the 19 most overpriced cars with the worst deals right now. Let's go. Honda Civic Type R, the hot hatch. That's too hot for its own good. The Honda Civic Type R, the ultimate hot hatch, a street-legal track weapon, and a dream car for enthusiasts. But right now, it's an absolute nightmare for your wallet. This car was already in high demand, but thanks to insane dealer markups, getting your hands on one is nearly impossible unless you're willing to pay $10,000, $15,000, or even $20,000 above MSRP. That means a car that was supposed to be an affordable performance machine is now pushing $60,000. And sure, it's an absolute beast, 315 horsepower, a razor-sharp 6-speed manual, and handling that's practically telepathic. But does that really justify spending nearly luxury sports car money on a Civic? For the same price, you could be sitting in a used BMW M3, a Mustang GT, or even a well-equipped Supra. All cars with more power, more prestige, and arguably more presence on the road. And let's not forget one of the biggest downsides. Theft rates on the Type R are through the roof. This car is a tuner's dream, which also makes it a thief's dream. Insurance companies know this, and that's why premiums on the Civic Type R are climbing faster than its price tag. Jeep Grand Wagoneer, a luxury Jeep. Grand Wagoneer is Jeep's attempt at breaking into the ultra-luxury SUV market. But let's be honest, was anyone really asking for this? Jeep is known for rugged, off-road ready vehicles, but now they want you to spend over $100,000 for a luxury SUV that's supposed to compete with a Cadillac Escalade or a Range Rover. And here's the problem, it doesn't. Sure, it's packed with features like a massive 75-inch display setup, massaging seats, and enough chrome to blind you on a sunny day. But at the end of the day, it's still a Jeep. That means questionable reliability, a brand image that doesn't scream luxury, and depreciation that's already making early buyers regret their decision. And let's talk about the pricing. The Grand Wagoneer starts around $90,000, but once you check a few option boxes, you're looking at $110,000 plus, which is insane for a Jeep. For that kind of money, you could be in a Mercedes GLS, a BMW X7, or even a Range Rover, all of which have way more prestige and hold their value better. And fuel economy? Forget about it. This thing guzzles gas with its 6.4-liter V8, getting a pathetic 13 miles per gallon in the city, which makes it one of the least fuel-efficient SUVs on the market. Then there's the fact that dealerships are still slapping huge markups on these, making the already overpriced SUV even worse. Ford Bronco Raptor, paying extra for the hype. The Ford Bronco Raptor is supposed to be the ultimate off-road SUV, combining the ruggedness of the Bronco with the high-performance DNA of the Raptor lineup. Sounds perfect, right? Well, not when dealers are charging $20,000 to $40,000 over MSRP, pushing this thing well past $100,000 in some cases. That's supercar money for a Bronco. And while it looks aggressive with its massive 37-inch tires, wide fender flares, and Baja-ready suspension, the reality is, you're mostly paying for the hype. Under the hood, it has a 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6 making 418 horsepower, which isn't bad. Until you remember that for the same money, you could get a Ram TRX with a 702 horsepower supercharged V8, or even a fully loaded F150 Raptor with a more refined driving experience. And let's not forget that while the Bronco Raptor is meant for off-roading, how many people are really taking their six-figure SUV to get scratched up on the trails? The answer? Not many. Then there's the issue of reliability. Early models have already faced engine failures, transmission issues, and electrical glitches, proving that Ford's build quality still has some catching up to do. Toyota Supra, the BMW that pretends to be a Toyota. The Toyota Supra is one of the most legendary names in the car world. But let's be honest, the new one, it's not really a Toyota. Under the skin, it's basically a BMW Z4 in disguise. And while that might sound like a good thing, it raises a big question. Why are you paying Toyota money for a BMW experience? Sure, the 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-six is a powerhouse, pushing out 382 horsepower, and the handling is razor-sharp. But here's the problem. It doesn't feel like a true Supra. The heart and soul of the legendary 2 Josie engine is gone, and instead, you get BMW engineering, BMW electronics, and BMW reliability issues, which is not what most Supra fans signed up for. Then there's the price. The Supra starts at around $56,000, but if you want the fully loaded version, you're well over $60,000. And let's not forget that dealer markups have pushed some of these into $70,000 plus territory, which is absolutely insane when you consider that for that price, you could get a Chevrolet Corvette C8, a Porsche Cayman, or even a used Nissan GT-R, all of which offer more power, more prestige, and a more engaging driving experience. Tesla Model X, overpriced tech on wheels. The Tesla Model X is supposed to be the ultimate high-tech electric SUV, but at its current price, you have to ask, is it really worth it? Starting at over $80,000, and with the Plaid version pushing $100,000 plus, the Model X is one of the most expensive EVs on the market. And while it comes packed with cool features like Falcon Wing doors, a yoke steering wheel, and a massive touchscreen, a lot of this feels more like a gimmick than real luxury. The interior, for example, doesn't exactly scream six-figure quality. The materials feel cheap compared to competitors like the BMW iX, Mercedes EQS SUV, or even a high-end Rivian. And that yoke steering wheel, most owners find it more annoying than futuristic, making simple maneuvers like U-turns way harder than they need to be. Then there's the reliability. Tesla is known for questionable build quality, and the Model X is no exception. Owners have reported panel gaps, faulty sensors, and issues with the Falcon Wing doors that stop working properly over time. And if something goes wrong, repairs take forever because Tesla's service network is still struggling to keep up with demand. Even with all that, the price still doesn't make sense when you compare it to other luxury SUVs. For the same money, you could be in a fully loaded BMW X5, a Porsche Cayenne, or even a high-end Lucid Air, all of which offer better interiors, more driving refinement, and fewer headaches. GMC Hummer EV, the 9,000-pound battery brick. The GMC Hummer EV was supposed to be the ultimate electric off-roader, but in reality, it's a 9,000-pound battery brick that barely makes sense. Sure, it has 1,000 horsepower and can hit 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, but that performance comes at a cost. It weighs more than some full-size trucks. Then there's the charging problem. The 212 kilowatt-hour battery takes forever to charge unless you're at a super-fast DC charger. Try plugging it in at home. and you might be waiting over a full day to get a full charge. And let's talk about price. This thing was supposed to start at $80,000, but between dealer markups and high demand, many are selling for $110,000 or more. At that price, you could get a Rivian R1T, a Ford F-150 Lightning, or even a gas-powered off-roader that's actually practical. And despite its off-road capabilities, how many people are actually taking their six-figure electric Hummer off the pavement? It's too big, too heavy, and too expensive to truly use as an off-roader. Plus, early owners have already reported software issues and failing components, proving that GM still has a long way to go in the EV game. So while the Hummer EV might look cool on paper, in reality, it's an overpriced, oversized electric experiment that might not be worth the hype. Cadillac Escalade 5, a $150,000 Suburban? The Cadillac Escalade 5 is the ultimate high-performance luxury SUV, packing a 682 horsepower supercharged V8 that sounds like a muscle car in disguise. But here's the problem. It's basically a $150,000 Chevy Suburban. Sure, it's fast, going 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds. But do you really need that kind of power in a 3-ton family hauler? The standard Escalade already starts at around $85,000, which is expensive, but the V model takes things to a whole new level, pushing well past $150,000 with options and dealer markups. At that price, you could buy a Range Rover Autobiography, a Mercedes AMG G63, or even a Porsche Cayenne Turbo, all of which offer similar performance, but with more refinement and brand prestige. Then there's the fuel economy, or lack of it. With an EPA rating of just 11 miles per gallon in the city, this thing drinks gas like it's still 2005. And while the Escalade 5 looks aggressive and has an incredible exhaust note, the reality is, it's still a body-on-frame SUV that drives like a truck. The handling is decent for its size, but it's nowhere near as precise as a German luxury SUV, making you question if the extra horsepower is even necessary for daily driving. Plus, at the end of the day, it's still heavily based on the Chevrolet Suburban and GMC Yukon, meaning you're paying a massive premium for a slightly fancier version of a truck that costs way less. And let's not forget about depreciation. Escalades historically lose value fast, and with gas prices and EVs on the rise, there's a good chance the Escalade V could tank in value just as quickly as it accelerates. So unless you absolutely need a 700 horsepower luxury truck to haul your family around, this might just be another overpriced GM product wrapped in fancy badging. Ferrari Purosangue, a $400,000 SUV? Really? The Ferrari Purosangue is Ferrari's first ever SUV, but let's be real, is a $400,000 Ferrari SUV even necessary? Sure, it has a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 that screams to 8,250 RPM, pumping out 715 horsepower, making it the most powerful, gas-only SUV on the market. But here's the thing, it's still an SUV. So unless you have money to burn and just want a Ferrari with extra seats, this might just be another overpriced trend-chasing cash grab. Which one of these cars is the biggest ripoff? Or do you think one of them actually deserves the high price tag? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on more car content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.